In this video, I will be going over what an annotated bibliography is and how to write one. An annotated bibliography serves different purposes, but in general, it is a document that summarizes and organizes a range of research citations that you have chosen for your given topic. It helps you understand what research already exists in that area or topic and what it has to say and what still needs to be done. An annotated bibliography is often the first step following the reading of a research paper. As mentioned in one of my previous videos, when doing your research, you come across several different papers. This is true for even when you do your extended essays. It is highly unlikely that you will remember what you read in a paper purely based off of your memory. And again, to expect that you will is also highly unrealistic. Therefore, it is important for you to make notes and summaries, which is what an annotated bibliography serves the purpose of. The term annotated bibliography can be divided into two halves. Bibliography, on its own, is a list of researches which would look kind of like this. Okay? A typical bibliography would definitely include way more than these, at least a minimum of 10 such resources. And annotation or annotating is the process of adding a note to the resource. Okay? When I give you feedback on your essays, that is me annotating your essays. Okay? So an annotated bibliography then is adding notes to what your list or of selected resources. Okay? So it is including your summary of that research. And it would look kind of like this. So this is one research paper that I have annotated by adding my notes over here. And this is not the complete annotation, it's just the first two paragraphs. Your annotations will be about 300 words, okay? And before I go into that, the purpose of your annotation or annotated bibliography is to understand the existing research that has already been conducted in the area that you have chosen and the impact digital technology has on it. Okay, so that is the main purpose of your annotated bibliography. Based on this understanding, you will be writing and presenting your own research proposal. Okay, and you will also be creating an infographic on that topic area, the positive and negative impacts digital technology has on it, and ways that we can manage healthy usage or cope with the negative impacts. So it is important for you to understand what methodologies these researchers have used, the gaps in the research that you have chosen, areas of uncertainty, strengths and drawbacks. Okay, based on this, you will be able to come up with your own proposal and also understand what is already known about this behavior in the field. Okay, which will help you serve the purpose of your infographic. Writing an annotated bibliography is not necessarily alien to you because you are using the same format of what you use for your SAQs and LAQs, which is you first describe the aim, sample, method, results, and conclusions of a research, followed by an evaluation. And this is exactly what an annotation of a research citation will look like. To begin with, I would like you to be introduced to the APA formatting. APA is the American Psychological Association. They are a board that work extensively with research and also monitor the standards of psychological research. There are several such organizations like BPS, even China has its own psychological society, okay? But what APA has is a formatting style, okay? And you use this whenever you're writing academic writing. Our school usually follows MLA, but I prefer for you to use APA in your IAs and your extended essays because this helps you put into practice what you will probably use in university. Most universities that teach psychology are more likely to follow APA formatting as opposed to formatting such as Chicago or MLA. Okay, so I would prefer that from you. And again, you have already started doing this in class. Whenever you write your LAQs and you're citing a researcher like McGuire et al. 2000, that is you using citations. So it is not something that is completely new to you. This is me just refining your understanding of formatting. Okay, so for the annotated bibliography, a major part of your formatting is focused on how you do the referencing. Okay, and any basic reference needs to have all the researchers' names, the year, and the title of the research. In addition to that, you can have the journal that the research was published in, and also the DOI, which is a unique code that each research that is published is given. Okay, but my expectation from you for this assignment is to have the researchers' names, the year, and the title. Okay, and to begin with, the researcher names have to be in the order that is there in the research. Okay, if Glasshour is the first publisher, okay, first publisher is the person who's put the most time and effort into that research. Okay, this is the person who probably came up with the idea or has done a majority of the research. So that's first publisher. Then there's the second, third, and so on. Okay, so when they publish a paper and they write their research, their names in that research paper, it is based on who's the first publisher, second publisher, and so on. Okay, and you need to respect that. So that means that you would not put Jonker first or Thompson first. Okay, because that would first be disrespectful, but also second, it makes the referencing incorrect. Okay, so Glasshour, if that's the person who is the first publisher, you will always use them or their name first. So McGuire, for his research, was the first publisher. Et al. Basically means all the other researchers. There were several other researchers in that research, right? But McGuire was the forerunner of that. So we always refer to McGuire first and then say et al. Okay? And that is the correct way to do referencing. Going further into the referencing, you always use the last name of the person followed by their initials. So if I'm the researcher, Misty Karmaker, I would put Karmaker first, okay, followed by a comma, an M, and then a dot, and then a comma. If I had a middle name, let's say for example my middle name was P, or it had something to do with P, then I would put M dot P dot comma, and then the next researcher's last name, okay, and then their initials. So that is the basic format that you have to follow with regards to using their names. And in your referencing, if there are 7 researchers, you need to include all of their names. Okay, fortunately or unfortunately, you do need to credit all of them. Okay, and sometimes there are researchers that have more than 7 researchers. So the last researcher that you refer to in that reference, you have to use an and use their name followed by the initials and a full stop. Once you've done that, you will refer to the year that they published their paper. A lot of the times in a paper, it says when they submitted the paper, that could be in 2015. When the paper was reviewed, that could be 2015. And 2016 could be the year that it was finally accepted. And that is the year that you need to use it. Okay? A very good example of such a thing could be me who did research in university and still hasn't published her paper. Okay, I could have done this research 4 years ago, but my research will be accepted only in 2020 now. So then my paper would be cited as something that was published in 2020 and not 2017 or 2016 when I had actually conducted the paper or the research. Okay, so followed by that, the research is in brackets followed by a full stop, and then there's the research title, and you will use the full title that the researchers have used. Okay, this is my basic expectation of you. If you want to write the research journal name and also the DOI, that's okay, that's up to you. But apart from that, the researches need to be in an alphabetized format. That means you have to, if it's Misty, Aiko, Eno, okay? Then you will do Aiko, Eno, Misty. Okay, that, and actually you're going to focus on the last names. I can't remember all of your last names, but you will use the letter and alphabetize the format or the sequence in which you write your annotated bibliography. Okay, so if their last name starts with A, they will probably be first on the list. Okay, and then followed by their annotation. Um, it has to be double spaced, or 1.5 is fine with me as well. And the annotation or the reference needs to be having a hanging indentation. And this is what a hanging indentation means. So the first line will be your normal margin space, followed by the second being um, a hanging indentation, and everything else will follow that indentation. Okay, so this is the format that you will follow in terms of APA. I think it's pretty straightforward. So once you have your reference, you will start your annotation or your paragraph of summary and evaluation. Again, this will follow the hanging indentation. And when it comes to your annotated bibliography and the paragraphs that you'll be writing, you have to use 5 researches, and you have already found, or so I hope, 5 researches related to your topic, okay? And each of them will have their own annotation. So your first paragraph will define your variables like you do in your LAQ answers, and also will explain the purpose of your research. Why do you think this is important? Why are you conducting research in this area? And if you can add personal significance, even though that's not something that is typical of an annotated bibliography, I think that would be something that's good and I can understand as well. Followed by your first introduction paragraph, you will go straight into your first annotation with this kind of reference, okay? You don't have to write first research or anything. You just go directly into this and you write your reference followed by your summary of that research, which will include its aim, sample, methodology, results, and conclusions. Okay, and then the second paragraph for that annotation will have the evaluation of the research and its findings and link it back to your main topic. Okay, very important. Link it back to your main topic. What does this say about your main topic? If it's digital technology and pro-social behavior, what does it say about how digital technology influences pro-social behavior? Does it make people be more helpful? Are people less helpful based on their use of technology? Okay, then there is no requirement for a transition or anything of that sort. You will go directly into your second annotation and include the reference over there. Okay, again, the reference is something like this, so you will directly write the next reference and then go into the annotation of the next research that you have chosen. Okay, and the same aim, sample, methodology, results, conclusions, evaluation, and link back to topic has to be done for this annotation as well. And then there's the annotation 3, annotation 4, and annotation 5. This paragraph is very important, your concluding and discussion paragraphs, which will be a discussion of what are the similarities that you have found in these researches, okay? What are their findings? Are there similarities? Are there differences? What are the researches that they have used to explore that topic? As in, what kind of methodology have they used? What are the blanket strengths of that methodology, and what are the drawbacks? What do you think are the future scopes or future directions for this research? Okay, so that is basically what your discussion paragraph and your concluding paragraph will look like. I would say stick to about 300 words at the most for each annotation. If you do write more, that is okay. Also, that would mean that I have to read more, but that's fine. But keep on an average to about 300 words. I would spend more time using it for, or more words evaluating the findings and research and linking it back to the topic than actually writing extreme or really lengthy descriptions of each research. So this is basically what an annotated bibliography is. I will be attaching one of mine. It is really extensive. It is about 4,000 words. Yours does not have to be that extensive. Also, it is not my best work, but I think it's good enough to give you an idea of how to do it. Okay?